Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Kaelan's story. Now, last session you finished your free agency, and we're going to fast forward just a little bit to the following morning, where you awaken in your dormitory. The suns are just rising, and as you open your eyes, you see on the end table next to you is that golden spinner seed that Sean gave you. And you
Yes.
remember, at drinks last night, Sean explained to you that should you choose to invoke the seed, you would gain a small boon, a
Oh,
blessing from Lilas. You don't know what it would be, but it would be something that helps you.
I think waking up, he would pick it up and look at it. Just wonder what that could be. Maybe it'd be wise to save it for when he really needs it. So he'll just tuck it into a little pouch for safekeeping and then head off to breakfast.
Breakfast. All right. Let me roll.
Yeah.
6 temporary hit points are gained for you by eating breakfast. And
No change.
today. One second here. Ow. Sorry, excuse me. Breakfast this morning seems to be a healthy pile of bacon, assorted along with scrambled eggs and what look like maybe just baked potatoes, but they're like shredded. It's very interesting. But it tastes
Huh.
really good.
Yeah. I think Kaelan is a mixer of all of it together. Just
Turn
all
it into
just
goulash.
pretty much just mix everything together and then put some sort of sauce on it or the hot sauce, Tabasco, whatever is the equivalent here.
You mean he's a
And,
monster. Fair enough.
uh, uh, yeah. So once full enough, he doesn't want to overeat. So uh,
The hot sauce is not Tabasco. It's called Solosin sauce.
Solosin sauce. That's
Yes.
cool. I like that name. Solosin sauce.
It's
Do I know?
it's pretty hot. It's not like it's basically the equivalent of Tabasco sauce, but it's kind of this golden brown color.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just clear the sinuses in the morning, you know?
It certainly will. Yes.
Good. That's why he has a high perception.
Apparently clear and bright-eyed.
Yep. And then he'll be 15 minutes early to class
Okay.
for whatever is in store from him today.
One moment. Let's see who's here. I'm rolling. All right. As you arrive at the Ranger's classroom, it is just you as you enter. And Triss is at the ready. You see she's got a mug, a kind of a tin cup that she's drinking out of as she's leaned against one of the short trees. When you enter, she says, "Good morning. You're here early."
Morning. Uh, I always like to be early.
Well, it's just you this morning. Tier's out on a free agency, so.
Oh, I see. All right.
And I'm sure
Um,
Nox will show up if she feels like it.
does she not show up every day?
No,
Oh,
she's not too keen, it seems, on passing her exam. It's whatever. She's paid the gold.
it's a shame.
I agree.
So, what are we learning today?
Well, today.
Or
Today is going to be more of a practical exercise.
All right.
As you know, we're in the Skywoods. You're familiar with that, yeah?
I am now. Yes.
Well,
Did it? Uh huh.
we are aware there's a scouting party of cloud giants that have maybe wandered pretty close. We're going to find them.
Oh, really? Okay. Uh, and do what with them? Talk to them?
No, 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 no. We'll not be talking to them. We need to find them and see where they are and where they're heading.
Okay, just stealth and tracking then.
We're going to follow them as far as we can. And if they get within 20 miles, well, you don't have to worry about that part. You are going to be taking the lead in trying to find them. I'll be helping you when you need it, but I'm mostly going to be watching and seeing how you work.
All right then. Do you know when or where, what direction they were last seen?
She looks at you. She kind of opens up a small parchment that she pulls from a pocket. And she says, "Last I heard, they were seen northwest of here. So, we better start heading in that
Okay.
direction and see what we find."
Right, you are. All right.
Before we leave, what do you think is going to be the biggest tell as to where giants are?
Oh, can I make a roll on what
You can roll nature.
I think? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm proficient. That's good. That's a 1.
You've never really thought about tracking giants.
Not really, no. All right. Um, Things real hard. Come to think of it, I haven't really tracked giants before. Uh, well, like with any huge beast, I guess we look for a path, in the trees, maybe? They're big, so they probably would break a lot of branches.
These aren't hill
So,
giants we're tracking. We're tracking cloud giants. You know what they are. You know the difference. With a one, you do not.
no. I thought giants were just giants.
Right. Hill giants are dumb. Hill giants are common and stupid, easy to outwit, easy to find. Cloud giants are brilliant. Crafters, hunters. They're smart. They have their own kingdom up here. We are actually on their land. So we need to be careful about how we find them. But as they are that smart, they're also better hunters than you might expect. We won't be able to find them through the markings you might expect from a huge beast, as they know how to cover their tracks.
Okay. So, if I should I think he's gonna think about what he would do if he was tracking himself, and go with that first. Uh, go with the telltale signs that he would leave behind because he is a hunter himself,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of use that psychology and head out.
Triss follows you. Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Okay. Hey, good start.
With a 23, as you head northwest, the skywood is dense. As you recall, it's kind of a cold weather forest. Lots of dense and thick pine and conifer trees. Especially the ones that are particularly tall, similar to Douglas fir, the sort of trees that have branches that begin much higher up. It makes it easy to navigate through this part of the forest, and as you're making your way through, with a 23, you are keeping an eye out for the telltale signs of a hunting party having passed through. The almost artificial look of covered tracks or nature being replaced behind themselves as they were moving. As you're making your way, Triss is watching you work, and she says, "So tell me, Kaelan, where is it you learned the basic skills of being a ranger?"
I think he wouldn't really. He'd keep doing what he was doing and just answer as he was working.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my father taught me how to track and hunt back at home.
Home.
Aye,
Remind
Phobos.
me, Phobos. Okay. You have a lot of
Aye,
cold weather forest back in Phobos.
not at all. It's mostly jungle. Am I right?
Yes, it's mostly
On
jungle.
that.
It's warm. It's tropical. It's very dense, and the forest itself is much more dangerous.
Yeah.
Lots of poisonous plants and creatures, and while you're hunting there, you almost have to be more careful of being hunted yourself.
Right. Um. Yeah, on Phobos, we have dense jungles. Lots of poisonous uh, plants and creatures and predators. So I learned how to look out for that and be careful. Up here in these cold weather forests, it's almost easier, to be honest.
There are dangers of the Skywood you have to be aware of, but it's no jungle. You're right. You're right about that. There's no chance of a leopard or jaguar leaping on you from behind.
One of my friends almost got jumped by a jaguar.
Do they make it out alive?
I saw it coming and I shot it with an arrow.
She inside checks you. Are you full of shit?
Uh, I'll say.
Like, are you
Yeah,
stretching the truth, or are you full of shit?
he's stretching a little bit of the truth. Like he didn't squarely hit it, he didn't kill it, but he maimed it, like basically scratched it, and it
Sure.
just darted off.
All right.
um,
She rolled really bad, so she. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a deception?
okay.
You don't have to roll very well.
All right. Oh, that's
But you
pretty
roll
good.
really well, okay. She says, "Well, lucky for him you were there, eh?"
All right, he's a bit of a stumper. Big
A lot
feet,
of those.
not very quiet. So he
You'd
was an
think it'd
easy
be
target.
common sense when you're walking through a forest to just step lightly and look where you're putting your feet. But it's not.
It took him a while to get that.
Before I was an instructor here, I had to spend a lot of time helping my party through all sorts of tense situations, and I swear to gods, none of them knew how to step and be quiet. I can't tell you how many ambushes failed just because the bloody paladin stepped on, well, a puddle or a branch and gave us up.
Big heavy armor, hard to move around.
Not that hard. By the end of it all, he was wearing mithril. He still was loud as shite. I don't know how he pulled it off.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It was frustrating to work with, let me tell you. Actually, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about here. As you are making your way through the forest, Triss says, "I'd like to know your plans after successfully passing the exam. Are you sticking around to recruit with the Meriguard, or are you off other places?"
I haven't really thought about that yet. It's only been, what, 4 days?
About, but I'd like to have a good gauge as to what my students are planning.
I think more of my focus is getting 2 exams and passing them right now. think I'll think on it if you're asking those questions now.
I'm
I
going to be
guess I should
asking
be
you that.
thinking about it.
I'm going to be asking you that the entire year. If you decide
Say,
to contract with the Merigard, you're going to be assigned a team by Persh, and he needs to know what I think of your skills and where your focus lies.
all right. Um, you know, fuck it. I think I will contract the Merigard.
Good to know. I can't
And
promise the pay as well.
I think that question will give him a little bit of pause in what he was doing and really think about it before answering and continuing what he did, what
Sure.
he's doing.
Yeah, you have a long hike to go. And as you are making your way, Triss is having quiet conversation with you. It seems as though she's just trying to get a gauge as to your history, trying to learn what it is you already know and what more she could teach you. And knowing you come from a jungle climate does give her, and you can tell, some insight as to what the sort of things you need to know are. And she begins to point out the more mystical effects the sky would bear. Traps that seem to have been created by air elementals. Different sorts of things that could catch you unaware. Pitfalls that are literally leaves strewn about over almost just illusory pits that are actually like impossible to see unless you know what to look for, and she points them out to you. You're in a different sort of forest with different sorts of predators, and they use their skills as well. They don't necessarily have to hide when they can create a trap for you to fall in.
I can respect that. That's kind of smart.
As you're making your way through the woods, I'd like you to roll me a perception check.
Okay. I think at a particularly dull moment, he would pop the question of, can you tell me a bit more about the being I encountered that tried to make me stay? The the dryad you called her?
Well, yeah, I can tell you a little bit. A dryad is a fey creature. They look like an elf. They make their home in an oak tree. And generally, they make their own grove surrounding that oak tree as their mother tree. They are children of nature. They don't have true parents. They're more of a magical manifestation. And, if they find someone they like, someone that appeals to them, they seduce them, keep them within their oak tree or in their grove until they either bore of them or they die.
Oh, he kind of realizes now, and a darkness kind of falls over his face, like thinking about what could have happened. Um, and he shakes it off.
The Fae
So,
are not to be fucked with.
right. Now, would a big talking tree be the same kind of creature?
A big
Or
talking
part of the
tree.
same realm?
Well,
I,
an ant is a Fae entity as well, but not the same as a dryad.
right, but they're both from the Feywild, yes?
Aye.
Um, Sean and I actually ran into one on the way back.
Aha.
It was somehow it got trapped between two rocks, two boulders, and we were able to free it.
Well, an ant, if that be what you ran across, are rare at best here in the prime material. In the Feywild, they're common. They are sentient trees, often looked at as guardians of woods. For the most part, they just kind of stay looking like a tree until they decide they need to do something. So if you found one that needed aid, it was likely trying to accomplish something.
Oh. All right. It gave me a seed, and he'll kind of take out that seed and present it in his palm.
Triss will look at it and look at you, and she will say, "That's quite a gift. Looks like you
Really?
have a blessing waiting for you."
Do you know what kind of blessing that would mean?
Oh, it's whatever. It's whatever the gods of nature decide is best for you, I suppose.
All right.
Ents are considered a pariah of, well, the gods.
All right. So it's useful.
Oh, aye. Yeah. Definitely.
All right then. Sorry for the little jaunt, but 18 for my perception check.
Roll me a d8.
Right. 5.
Okay, roll me a d100.
54.
54. One moment. With an 18 in perception, as you are making your way through the trees, you suddenly become aware of the sounds of heavy flapping. As you look up, looking between the canopies of the trees, something shining and glinting with the sun's light reflects back towards you. Roll me a nature check.
Right. Oh man.
You don't know what that is from a glance. It's too hard to see it between the trees and the sun's light, but it is flying fairly low over the treetops. It's not moving particularly fast. It's kind of lazily, but it does seem big. Very big.
Does it seem to be in a hunting type flight?
With a 7, you can't tell. It's too close, too near the treetops. You can't really see its head. You can't tell the shape of it very well. The suns are honestly making it too hard to get details.
All right. I think not really knowing what it is or what it's doing, he's gonna get up against a tree and kind of try to put as many bows of the tree between it and its sight. Put himself between, yeah.
Seeing you hide, Triss will creep up near the tree and do the same. Go ahead and roll me stealth.
Okay.
18. Okay. You and Triss take cover. She looks over at you and she says, "What did you see?"
Some sort of bird. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but best be safe than sorry.
Triss will kind of peer out underneath the tree. Oh, okay. Roll me a d4.
Okay. 2.
Okay. This has got interesting. As you are kind of tucked up underneath the tree, I'm sorry, hold on a minute. This is an interesting roll. I'm sorry. There is the sounds of flapping that is suddenly rapid and then slowing and dropping between the trees right near you and Triss. Not enormous, but a large, looks like it's maybe a young adult, silver dragon lands on the ground near you with a
Oh. Ah. Triss, it's not a bird.
No, it's not. As the silver dragon is looking down at the two of you, it says, hold on, I need to decide on the voice for a silver dragon NPC that's just occurred. Hello, and I don't mean to encroach upon you two adventurers, but I was hoping for some directions. And Triss looks up at the dragon and then over at you, and she says, well, Kaelan?
I'm gonna insight check. Maybe 2 insight checks. I'm gonna insight check the dragon first to see if he's truly like asking for directions, and then I'm gonna insight Triss to see if she knew what he said, because I know what he says.
The dragon is speaking common.
He's speaking common. Okay, gotcha. All right, so she definitely knows what he said.
Yes.
So I guess 1 insight check.
Okay.
For the
yeah,
dragon?
go ahead and roll an insight check.
Natural 20. Holy shit.
You believe the dragon is legitimately asking for directions. It seems it's a younger dragon. It's not an adult. It's older than a wormling, but it's in between there. The scales of the silver dragon are not quite mirror-like yet, and so you can tell it is younger. And as it is looking at you, it looks sincere.
Hey. I think he would just relax slightly. It's still a dragon, and hasn't really been close to a real dragon before.
True. Roll me a nature check to see what you know about silver dragons in particular.
Okay. Not that great.
An 11? Yeah, it's a dragon. You've heard stories about silver dragons being friendly. That's all you know.
Okay. All right. Replaying the knowledge that Ralph might have taught him about silver dragons, he would relax slightly more. But in Draconic, he will reply, well, I don't know much about this forest, so I dare say I couldn't give you the best directions, but where are you headed?
The dragon seems a little bit chuffed that you spoke to it in Draconic. And in Draconic, it will reply, oh, it is a pleasure to hear the common tongue. Well, I was hoping to find Ravotra, and I have a meeting to get to, and I do not know the way.
Ravotra. History check?
Yeah, roll me history.
I
7. You've no fucking clue. You know Ravotra is the capital, and by the capital I mean the colony that people have up here. That's what you know with a 7.
Okay.
You don't know where it is. You have no idea where it is.
I wish I knew where that was, but like I said, I'm pretty new to the Skywood. I wish I could point you in the right direction. Let me ask my companion. Triss,
Yeah.
Where's Ravotra?
You see, she looks up, and then at the dragon, and she says, "I'd say 400 miles north."
Would you know where north is? Would I know where north is?
Or not
Or what
400.
direction?
Wow, I like 150 miles north. Yeah, you know which way is north.
Okay. All right. And in Draconic, I will point north. It's about 150 miles that way.
Ah, the dragon kind of dips its head and says, "Thank you for the information.
Right.
I wish you a careful journey."
You as well. Might I have your name before you leave?
Caradan.
Uh, Ter- Terradan?
Caradan.
Terradan. Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
And since we are exchanging pleasantries, I must know yours as well.
Oh, you can call me Kaelan. And,
Kaelan.
Triss, we're exchanging names if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm Triss. Triss Kerthayer. And the dragon in common says, "'Tis a pleasure. I am Caradan. Again, I wish you all the safest of journeys, and you have my gratitude."
And in common, Kaelan will bow his head. You as well.
With
Safe travels.
with massive flaps of its wings, the dragon lifts off and flies up into the sky.
Huh. Well,
Whew.
that was pleasant.
We're pretty close to the cloud castle, so I'm not surprised we came across a silver dragon, but it is still a dragon, so
Have you met many dragons?
up here more than anywhere else in my life.
Huh. That's the first one I've met.
Well, get used to it. As I said, the cloud castles are just that way, and that's where they all live.
All right. Apparently, he was late for a meeting.
Apparently.
And he'll just kind of laugh at that. Just bizarre interaction. He's kind of maybe a little shell shocked meeting his first dragon and having a friendly encounter with one.
Yeah.
So,
Roll me a perception check.
sure.
With a 16, you see on the ground where the dragon had landed, there is a small burlap pouch.
Oh. Uh. Well. Huh. He'll go scoop it up.
It's pretty heavy, and it's closed, but it feels like it's almost like it's full of plates.
Full of plates, like porcelain plates or metal plates.
It's hard to tell through the burlap, but it feels like metal plates.
Okay. Well, this is obviously Caradan's, and he's not gonna open it up and look at it. Um, but he is definitely going to sling it over his shoulder and keep it for safekeeping, just in case he comes back looking for it.
Triss sees you do that, and she says, "What are you doing?"
He dropped this. I figured it best that maybe I'd keep it just in case someone else.
You don't know much about dragons, do you?
No,
That was
I
an
don't.
exchange. You gave him information. That's yours now.
Really? I guess I could look at it now. And he does look inside.
It has about 10 silver dragon scales in it.
Wow. Uh,
You know,
oh,
well, you suspect they're probably worth a good amount of gold.
that is quite the offering. I was not expecting that. Huh.
Like I said, get used to it. Dragons are. Well, silver dragons are nice. But most of the others are a bit fickle.
All right then. Uh, huh. I think he'll make a little, have a little smile on his face. It's really cool for him. Uh,
Yeah?
well, I suppose we should get going.
Aye.
Back, back to the task at hand. And
So
he
long as
will.
those dragon didn't scare off the cloud giants, aye.
Are they? Do they normally scare off
Uh,
the
while I did
giants
say
like that?
silver dragons are nice, they're nice to humankind. They think we're cute. They are not so nice to giantkin.
I see. Well,
He didn't look super
that's
big, though. I imagine the cloud giants aren't too afraid of him. We can just hope it didn't soil our tracking here.
all right. Well, let's see if we can find these giants. And
Triss gestures
he'll
for you to lead the way.
and he will.
Roll a survival. And make sure that you've marked down in your inventory you have 10 young adult silver dragon scales.
That would be go in what consumables?
No, you definitely don't consume them.
Loot. There we go.
Yeah, just put it in loot. A crafting component or sellable junk sort of thing.
Dragon. Silver dragon scales.
Each one is about the size of a dinner plate.
That is all right. That's pretty big.
Yeah. Dragons are big.
Got it. All right then. That didn't save. Kaelan. Silver dragon.
They're in there. I see them. They're at the bottom.
In biography?
No,
Oh.
it's in loot.
There it is. Okay, I was just writing down his name and putting it in my
Oh,
notes.
okay.
Okay. Survival. Hey, that's pretty good.
With a 27, you make quick work of getting back on track after that encounter. You
I
find...
think he'd have.
Hmm?
I think he'd have a little bit more of a pep in his step after that encounter.
Sure.
Yeah.
As you're making your way, navigating through the woods, quietly and professionally, looking for the markings of a trail of hunters. With a 27, after another hour and a half of seeking, you find it. You find a mistake that they made. There is a very large footprint that it looks like they had brushed leaves over, but a breeze, had moved most of them to the side. You found the trail.
Right. I think he would knee or take a knee next to it, and you would dip a finger into it just to see how fresh this footprint was. Try to gauge how far away or how long ago that this print was made.
With a 27, you're pretty sure it was between a half an hour to an hour ago.
All right. Looks like they've came through here about a half hour ago, traveling, and I'll look down at the print to see, search for, is it boot or barefoot?
It's boot.
Okay. Then the shape, the kidney shape, the larger part of it would point them in the direction they were going, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
You know they're heading.
okay. 30 minutes that way.
All right. Let's get a following. I'd like to be maybe about 10 minutes behind them.
All right.
She gestures for you to lead the way.
And I do.
All right. Roll me a d8.
Okay. 4.
Thank you. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
4.
Thank you. I didn't see the roll. All right. With a 4, as you're making your way following the trail of these cloud giants, progress is pretty smooth. You hear the sounds of a nearby creek. It is reassuring to know that you also hear the sounds of wildlife nearby, and it is reassuring to know that you have not frightened away any of the nearby life. You also know that you're far enough away and behind these cloud giants that as they are moving through the forest, the animals have returned to where they had left, likely, as the cloud giants are navigating their way through the forest. Because no matter how careful a cloud giant is that makes its way through the woods, it's likely that they will disturb nature as they're making their way through.
Good. All right. I think he would, to further mask their footfalls, he would get closer to the running water, as that is sometimes louder than footsteps.
Okay. As you're making your way, and you're following the path in the same direction, the same heading as these cloud giants, you follow for a good 45 minutes as Triss is following you. I'd like you to roll me another survival check.
Okay. All right. Not as good, but...
With a 15, as you're following the careful path that's being carved by the cloud giants ahead of you, you suddenly lose it.
Oh, shit. I lost the trail.
All right, no worry. Let's see if we can find it again.
All right.
And Triss begins to kind of try to guide back to where the trail was and see where it might have turned or hooked. As you are looking, I'd like you to roll me an investigation check at advantage.
Okay.
Because Triss is helping you.
Oh.
With an 11, it's just a matter of time. It takes a while, but eventually you discover broken branches that show that they did take a turn to the left, which is why you lost the trail in the first place. It was farther back than you first thought it was, which is why it took you so long to find it again. But once you did, Triss says, all right, let's see if we can pick up the pace. I don't want to get too far behind them.
Right. All right. Let's go.
Survival.
Uh, oh, man.
It's difficult to do. As you're
Yeah.
following the trail, it's winding, it's slow going. You are careful to make sure that you are not going to lose the trail, but as such, you're fairly certain these cloud giants are getting ahead of you. And as you are navigating, Triss is not looking down at the trail. She's watching how you work. Your technique, the things you're looking for, the steps that you take. And all the while, she's pretty quiet as it happens.
Okay. Uh, he definitely thinks he could not ask her for help, that he should do this on his own. That this is some sort of test. So he would try to not get not fr- to try to not to get frustrated with himself, and really go through the steps that his father told him to re-pick up a trail and follow it uh, in a timely manner. Um, can I maybe roll a wisdom save to see if he can center himself?
Sure.
All right. I
Yeah,
think
you
he's.
kind of you rein in your temper,
Uh-huh.
clear your mind a little bit, and focus on the task at hand.
Okay. Uh, and he gets to work. Um,
Go
I
ahead
don't
and
know
roll
what
me into the
else.
survival.
Okay. Hey,
With a
nice.
26. After clearing your mind, you focus on thinking like your target. And the steps one has to take as such a large creature as a cloud giant to cover their steps, it must take time to do that. It takes a deliberate hand to hide the tracks of such large creatures. And when you think of it that way, it becomes easier to spot where things have fallen where they don't look like they should have. Where leaves and branches have been moved to cover up locations that don't make any sense for them to have fallen. And as such, you follow the trail, making good time. I need you to roll me another d8.
Okay.
All right.
6.
Roll me a d100.
You don't need this. 73.
I know you're in a hurry. Okay, hold on a second. 73. Roll me a perception check, please.
Okay. Oh,
An 11. Okay. With an 11, you almost don't see it. As you're making your way through the woods, suddenly you round a corner, and directly to your right is a big ring, a 40-foot diameter circle. It's a perfect circle in the woods where everything has been burned to ash.
uh, I think. Okay. Do. All right. It's all ash, though.
Yes. Trees have been burned down to stumps. The undergrowth is completely gone. It's black soil in a perfect circle, 40 foot across.
And it's surrounded by stone.
No?
Or it's just this perfect circle?
It's just a perfect circle that cuts right up to the edge of the woods. There's no stone.
I think given nothing is burning right now, it's already burnt and gone.
Correct.
Okay. I think he'll note it in the back of his mind where this is, in the Skywood in relation to the door, because I can still feel the door, right?
Yes. You can always
Okay.
feel the door.
Gotcha. I think he'll take a moment to feel where the door is and kind of gauge where this place is.
Behind you, you hear Triss say, "What do you think this means?"
I don't know quite what to think. I think the Giants did that. That's my first thought. But we don't really have time to know what they did here. Maybe a quick pass, and I will go for a quick pass to see what exactly tried to gauge what this did.
Okay.
Or what this is.
Roll me a perception.
Okay. Okay.
18. As you look into the ring, the black soot-filled circle, you step into it, looking around, trying to see maybe what or why. You see that toward the edge of the ring, toward the far side of you, you see there is a skeleton. It's not a person skeleton. It's the skeleton of what looks like maybe it's a deer or an elk. It looks pretty big, but it has been... It's soot covered. The bones are charred, and there's no meat on it.
Oh. No. You said an elk or a deer?
Yes.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have any.
There's no
it doesn't
meat
have
and
any
no flesh.
antlers.
No antlers.
Okay. I think the next step here is to just gather some of the ash in his hand and see is it cold or kind of warm still.
It's warm still.
Right. Can I tell how recent by the warm?
Roll me a
how
survival.
warm it is? Okay.
13. Yeah, maybe it could have been as soon as an hour. It could have been... You don't know how hot it burned, so it could have been maybe 6 hours.
Right. Could be a flash fire or slow burning, but judging by that skeleton, it might have been a flash fire. I think an elk or a deer would have time if it had been a slow burning fire. All right. We don't really have time. Let's move on.
You're leading the way.
And he will. He'll dust off his hands and lead the way.
Roll survival.
Oh, golly. No.
As you wipe off your hands and return from the circle back to the trail, you don't see where the trail is. You've lost it.
Oh, this day. Okay.
As Triss watches you, she says, "This isn't supposed to be easy."
No, it's not. He'll go back to the last boot print that he saw, and then try to pick up from there.
Okay. Roll me another survival.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Come on.
The trail, you spend about 30 minutes following that boot print and trying to see which way it was going, but it's as though the cloud giants disappeared. You do not see where they went after this circle.
All
At this point, Triss has leaned up against a tree, and she is like a branch that she's picking at her tusks with.
The player is at a loss for what to do here.
I know. That's okay.
Um, so, any advice for what to do right now? I guess I am supposed to be learning.
Well, there's a couple things you could do. If you had a hound, we could use it to try and smell them. However, I suspect the Cloud Giants used magic to create that circle. And if they used magic, it's not out of the realm that maybe they could fly. She shrugs.
All right.
If they could fly, we could spend hours out here trying to find where they landed down. But as you say, it almost looks as though they vanished. So, sometimes you gotta take your losses when they come.
All right. Can I get a gauge of where they were last heading?
Yeah, they were heading northeast.
So we were supposed to track them to within 20 miles of where?
You don't have to worry about that. We just needed to track them as far as we could. And it looks like something happened here.
Right.
Maybe a fight. Maybe a hunt.
So it probably was a flash fire in that circle.
Probably.
All right.
Don't take it too hard. You actually did really well. You know what you're doing.
I feel like I could do better.
Well, you're welcome to keep looking if you like.
I think I'll try to, if they did have a fight, try to see what happened during the fight. I think that's what I'll do now.
Take a look.
And he'll look at to see if there was a fight and which way it went. Look for blood to see if any of them were wounded or not.
Roll survival.
Okay. Oy.
On the far side of the circle, it takes you about 20 minutes to navigate around as you are thoroughly inspecting this area. On the far side of the circle, with a 13, there is a large gash in one of the trees where it looks like a blade cut into the tree. And when you inspect it closer, there is definitely some blood that has been laced into the gash, as if the edge that cut into the tree had blood on it. That's what you see with a 13. Not much else, unfortunately.
All right, definitely was a fight. Feel like I should have kicked a helmet before trying to do this.
Don't break a toe.
That would have helped, maybe. All right. What does the blood look like?
It is dark red. You can roll me a
Right.
nature.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good.
With a 22, you are pretty certain it is not animal blood. You're pretty certain it is humanoid. You don't know exactly what race, but you're fairly certain it's not deer blood.
Right. Looks like they got into a fight with another humanoid type. Are there other giants besides storm giants or cloud giants, rather?
Well, The Cloud Giants have a kingdom up here, and obviously there's disputes. It's not really our interest, their politics. There's fire giants below ground.
Okay. I think they might have gotten into a fight. I'm not gonna assume anything. They got into a fight here, and fire was used. So, any more lessons for today, or should I try to get back on the trail?
Oh, I think, if there was a fight here, I think we've learned plenty from this little escapade. And as she says that, you see she pulls a blue stone out of her jerkin and holds it up to her mouth. And you hear her say, Persh, we found some evidence of, well, conflict is the right word. I'd say maybe 14 miles east. Right. Well, send them out. And she puts the stone away. And she says, well done. Might not feel like you've succeeded, but you've given us something to work with.
All right. Wish you could have done better. Well, you are your own worst critic, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm awesome.
Fair enough.
Let's head back.
Right.
I don't fancy getting caught out in the woods.
Fair. I think he would relax a little bit and kind of still leading the way, but more relaxed and nonchalant, feeling towards the door.
Okay. Yeah, you have a very clear heading upon which you must follow.
Cool.
You begin heading back. Roll me a d8.
All right.
Roll me a d100.
Oh, no. 63.
Okay. As you are making your way back, you find yourself passing through a more open section of the Skywood. It's almost like there is a dip toward the stream to your left. And as you're walking, I need you to roll me a perception check.
Okay. And that went on a journey for 21.
With a 21, as you are making your way, you suddenly catch a glimpse of... It's very close. It's right above you. And it is falling towards you. And you manage to see it just before it happens. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, boy. Oh.
You manage to see it, but you don't react in time, as you see that the dust and leaves of the forest is gathered in the shape of this large creature. And coming down towards you, an air elemental slams onto you and Triss. Triss did not see it. Hold on.
Oh.
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you are slammed onto the ground. Triss is as well. And you hear in Orin, and then the air elemental lifts off of you and continues on its journey.
Okay. 8, right?
8. No, 9. I'm sorry. I misread it. It's 9.
Oh. All right. Cool. So, ugh. What the fuck?
as Triss is trying to sit up, and she says, "Ow."
Yeah.
Do you speak primordial?
Not at all.
It said it was sorry.
Uh-huh.
And she's like cracking her back as she stands up.
Oh, that's gonna bruise. Ow. Fuck.
Fucking air spirits. As an air elemental has bounced off the two of you, apologized for it, and continued on its way. That's what you rolled.
Okay, just a little bit of damage then. That's what I rolled. Rocks
Yes.
fall.
Basically, yeah. Well, you had a dex. You had the potential for a dex save to dodge it, but you did not roll well enough.
Nope. No, not at all. All right.
And Triss did not even see it, so she didn't even get a chance.
Fun.
You are covered in soil and leaves all on your front where you were pressed into the ground. Triss is brushing herself off, and she says, "Well, that was fun. Let's keep moving."
Yeah. All right. He'll brush himself off and then continue to lead.
Okay. It's a simple matter. It's just a long hike back toward the door. And with your good perception skill and the decent survival check... Oh, no, I need you to roll me a survival. You haven't rolled one yet. Please give me a survival check.
Okay. All right.
Okay, with your decent survival check, you make it back to the primary area that is the classroom before dusk. You get there at about maybe 4 in the afternoon. And you see Triss is back at the broad stump that she uses as a desk. You see she's pulled out parchment, and she says, "You did well today."
All right. Thank you. I learned a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we'd have learned how to dodge an air elemental, but other than that, yes, you did well. Why don't you go ahead and take the rest of the evening to yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. And he'll head out of the classroom. And
Triss seems particularly busy as you're leaving. It seems as though what happened was important. So, as you leave the classroom, you're out into the Merryguard proper. And what do? The rest of the evening is yours. Sean, you're not
there. I think what he'll do is he'll go catch an early dinner first.
Okay. You go to the mess hall or to the Merryguard?
The mess hall.
Okay. You head to the mess hall to get yourself something to eat. Roll me a d10. Let's see who you run into. A 4.
4.
Okay. Boy. That's interesting. As you get yourself some early dinner, it is before proper meal is actually served. There is plenty of food that is set out for students to gather. In particular, today there is a very large pot of what smells delicious. It's a beef and vegetable soup loaded with barley, and with it are 2 enormous loaves of bread, upon which it looks like some students have already cut some away.
Okay. I think what he'll do is he'll cut off the end of one of those loaves of bread and hollow it out and scoop up the stew and put the stew into the little hollowed out bread and eat it that way.
That's a brilliant idea. As you make a bread bowl out of the heel of the giant loaf. It's a lot of food. You go and you find yourself a place to sit. immediately after having done so, an individual sits across from you. They're very large as they sit down, but they're a bit hunched over. And as they do, they look at you and they say, "I have not met you yet."
Oh no!
It is a knoll seats across from you. And as he has his own large bowl of soup, he sees your bread bowl and he says, "Oh, yes, that was good idea."
Hi. What's your name, friend?
I go by Yitron. Yitron Longclaw, and who are you?
You can call me Kaelan. Nice to meet you,
Kaelan.
Legith.
It is pleasure.
What class are you in?
I study with Tally. I am a bard.
Oh, all right. So learning magic and music? Both?
Music and magic, yes. I am
All right.
good student. And he looks at
All
you
right.
and he says, "What about you?"
I'm a ranger student.
Ah, hunter. I
Aye.
am familiar with you and your kind. I was once similar.
Oh, really? What made you decide to change gears then?
You see, as he puts the spoon down, he wiggles his claws and he says, "I am better with fingers on the lute."
All right. Well, I mean, can you prove it?
You want a song? I am happy. He pulls. He
Sure.
kind of leans down to his bag and he pulls up a lute. It is a simple brown lute, and there are clearly scratch marks all over the bridge where his sharp claws have reached beyond the strings. But he begins to play, and he's actually good. Let me
Okay.
roll a performance for him.
I think this is the first time anybody's ever ran into this.
Yeah, you
particular
were the
NPC.
first time rolled into Utron. You roll. He rolled a 21 on performance, so it is actually a very upbeat, high, fast-paced, almost like flamenco tune that he's playing on the lute as his hand is running up and down both directions on the strings, and he's strumming out some very fast-paced notes that you are impressed his claws allow him to do. And as you look at the claw, the hand that's on the neck of the lute, you see that all of the talons have been filed down so he can play the lute properly.
All right. I think without really noticing, Kaelan will be tapping his foot to the beat, or to a beat. I'm gonna roll because this would be funny. It's offbeat, but it's a
Yitron
beat.
does not comment on your arrhythmic tapping, but he is pleased that you are enjoying it as he is smiling and nodding as he's playing the lute. Sometimes his eyes close, especially at a more prominent part of the song. But finally, when the song ends, he sets the lute to the side and he says, "You like?"
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I was pleasantly surprised.
I am pleased. You seem friendly human. They are not so common around here. Most look at Yitron like monster, but I am most friendly. And he takes a very large spoonful of soup and shovels it into his face.
Well, if you're within these walls, you're a friend, right?
Right. Of course. We are all here to learn.
Aye. Learn and pass our exams.
Where are you from? I do not recognize accent.
I'm from Phobos.
Hold on.
Trident?
I need to roll.
He'll elaborate to Trident if you
Ah,
don't know.
yes, sailor country. I know you. Yes,
Yeah.
I've not met many. I don't think. You seem nice. We friends?
Sure. Yeah. Ethram. Is that correct?
Yitron.
Ethron. All right.
You close. You don't have teeth for it. I get it.
Ah. All right. I'll work on it.
See, that is good human. You and me. We be pals, yes?
All right.
Anybody
Sounds
cross
good.
you, I eat them. Is no problem.
Well, I think you might get in trouble if you eat someone.
Is it? I joke. I'm joking. I don't eat people. It's been a couple years. You don't eat people anymore.
Is he joking
He's
that time
joking.
too?
He's still joking.
Okay. Okay. Uh, all right. um. So, uh, what made you? Well, you were a hunter before. Came here to be a bard. Uh, where are you from?
Sea of Trio is where family keep the stable, if you know what I mean.
Do I know where that's at?
Roll a history.
Oh,
You know it's far eastern Aurelia.
okay.
It's not close.
Okay.
Like if you want to take a look at the map here, I'll pull it
Sure,
over.
yeah.
This is the Sea of Trio.
Still loading.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Cool. All right, yeah, that's pretty far.
Yes. He like finishes a spoonful of soup and he says, "My family comes from long line of heroes. Wanderers knew the Long Claw. I must learn to sing so I can spread their stories. They always say, Yitron, you don't have to learn all this magic and music and stuff, but I appreciate their support, you know."
Did he just mimic like that? Did he
He
just
totally
change?
completely changed how he was speaking.
I think he would be just Kaelan would just be like dumbfounded that he just did that in front of him.
Just a clean, straight human voice. Yeah.
All right, all right. That's a noble pursuit. Um, wow. So, I guess the plan after graduating is going to spread the word of the long claw.
That is plan, yes. I will become contractor. I will journey across the world as they have promised. And as I do, I spread the songs of my family and their history with the wanderers. Heroes of age.
All right. Sounds like a noble pursuit.
I think so.
I like it. I like it.
Maybe if you're lucky, you and me, we become allies. We fight together. Ha!
I plan to pick up a contract with the Mary Guard after graduation, so maybe we'll get stuck together.
You say this like it's bad thing. You will not find
Oh,
better friend than Yitron.
I think getting stuck together is my way of, or at least a Favovian way of saying that it's a good thing. Usually, if it's a bad annotation and we say it with a sort of tone, means it's a good thing. Like, oh, you're shit at that, like that, and it means we're.
Oh, I see. I see.
Kidding.
You fuck with each other. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little competitive where I'm at, so it's a healthy competition.
What? Not enough room on your boats?
Never.
Maybe make them a little bigger. I could think of a song of this. And he like picks up the lute and he's kind of fiddling with it.
All right. So, do you have anything planned for tonight? Are you going out or?
Oh, Yitron does not leave castle. Yitron does not need problem with, Ferrum folk being afraid of Yitron. Lies, no, he'll eat us. I won't. I told them it's been years. They never listen. They always get afraid. So it just gets tiring.
Well, maybe we should change that one day.
Oh, you have idea?
Yeah. Well, you say, I mean, you make such beautiful music.
Thank you.
I think if you went out maybe to the Merry Guard and played a little bit, that people would be less afraid of you. Or maybe a public performance. Maybe a little concert. That's an idea, actually. You know, in my little town in Phobos, there's one time a year where we have a big, where the whole community gets together and we play sports, we do water sports, land sports, there's food and festivities, there's the minstrels put on a concert. Maybe we could do that. Get your bow.
It sounds like a beautiful idea. But
Maybe
I am still no, you think they would not mind?
I'll be right beside you.
Roll a persuasion.
All right.
You're good at that, right?
No. Oh no.
An 8. You see, the problem still lies. They see me. They see the claws. They don't see past the teeth. You know. Yitron is so frightening. It hurts my feelings, you know.
Here's another idea then. This place is big enough to maybe hold an audience. Maybe go to your bard instructor and see if you can put on a concert here at the Merry Guard. Invite people in and then show them what you can do. Maybe they'll be less afraid of you or welcome you into the community a little bit better.
If Tally were that, Yitron like this idea. I talk to instructor tomorrow. Maybe she be in favor. She's always wanting to show off.
I think that would be a great idea. Just have all the bard students put on a little concert and have her be the final act. So she can show off.
You strike good idea in Yitron's mind. I will run this by her. We will find out exactly what sort of music she wants to play for all of the Merigard. Oh, she would like this idea.
Oh, I mean, you could probably invite some of the town in too. I mean, that's the point of it, right? Just to get the community to be okay with your presence.
I think we need to speak with Persh about that.
All right. Would you like to speak with him now?
After soup. I am still hungry.
All right. Let's finish this up and see if he's willing to entertain the idea.
The soup grants 4 temporary hit points.
Okay.
As you finish off eating it. And as you do, Yitron is a very well-mannered gnoll. He eats it without making a mess. He uses the utensils. You suspect there's a lot more intelligence going on than his demeanor would first illustrate. And
all right.
As you finish eating, he kind of gathers up his bag and slings the loot over his back, and he says, "Right, let us go find Persh. See what he say."
Fair enough. And we'll go see Persh together.
So Persh is seated at his desk in the main hall, and Yithron is right behind you, and he says, "Hello, Persh. We have idea." And Persh looks up and right. What is it?
How hard would it be to set up a concert for the Bard students here at the Merry Guard?
Persh blinks a couple times, and he says, for what for?"
Well, it seems that Ethan here,
Yitron!
he's right. It's gonna take some time. I'm sorry.
You need more teeth, my friend.
Apparently so. I think he hasn't been able to leave the Merry Guard to explore the town much, and I think it'd be a good idea to maybe have the community of Ferrum see that he's not a feral gnoll, not dangerous. Just so he can explore the town a bit.
Roll me a persuasion check. And as you do, one second here.
Uh-huh.
Hold on a second here. Yeah, just for the moment, just roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
19, okay. As you roll that persuasion check, and Persh is rolling an insight check. Oh man. Persh considers it, and he looks over the desk at you and at Yithron, and he says, "Right, so you want to host a concert by the Bard students for the town of Ferrum, taking place here at the Merrigon."
I just, I guess, entertain the idea of a gnoll being in town and friendly. There's a bit of a misconception towards,
Knowles.
Right.
Well, they're not common round here. I understand both sides of the argument. I will say, by hosting this concert, we might be able to charge a mild fee, expand the coffers of the academy just a little.
Aye.
I don't see why we couldn't see how Tally feels about this sort of thing. I'll talk to her tomorrow.
And maybe we can make an event out of it. Maybe get some other classrooms to put on a show or something. I don't know.
I'd have to run that by Mr. Tourneau, see how he feels about it.
By who? Just as a player?
You've never heard the name before.
Who's that?
Zane Tourneau. He runs the Marigot Academy.
Oh, all right.
You'll meet him when you swear in. If you swear in.
Fair enough. Right then. All right. That was our idea. So.
Well, it's a potential for the Marigot to make a pretty penny off of what's basically a leisure day. So, I'm not opposed to it, assuming schedules line up.
Fair enough.
We'll see what the instructors have to say.
Sounds good.
Will that be all?
All right. I have some business in town. Yithron. Did I say that right?
No! Yithron!
All right. Right, I have some business on the town. I would ask if you'd like to go, but...
No!
No.
I'll be staying in here. As
I,
always.
right. Uh, Actually, I need to find somebody first. Uh, it was nice meeting you. I'll see you. I'll see you around.
I will see you around. And
Uh,
Heatran,
uh,
like, nods and his knoll head, like, a little bit too low, and he will shake your hand.
I'll shake it.
And then this knoll is like 8 feet tall. So he thuds off in the direction of the western hallway. And as he does, Persh looks at you and he says, "That was nice of you."
I just thought any student should be able to come and go as they please, and he hasn't been able to. So,
He's had a particular hard time since he's arrived.
well, I think. Well, I just, I don't know. I feel kind of guilty, I guess, about it. There's so many misconceptions about beasts and monsters, and I feel that if you're doing the right things, you should pretty be treated fairly, I guess. I don't know.
I
I
agree
don't
with
know
you.
what I'm talking about.
No, I agree with you. I'll let you know what comes of it. I will push for it. I like this idea.
It's good to hear.
I do have work to do, so if there's nothing else,
Nothing else. Have a good day.
have a good evening.
Uh, I'll go look for Lilith real quick.
Okay. Where? Where do you look for her?
I assume somewhere near the mess hall, or in the mess hall, maybe. If not, then I'll just go to the fighter classroom since I know where that's at.
She's not in the mess hall, and she's not in the fighter classroom.
All right. Uh, do I pass by anybody that I would recognize or know? Knox or
Let me roll.
Kana?
Roll me a d10.
All right. 10.
Uh, roll me a perception check.
Oh. There's a chance. Maybe.
As you pass by the fighter's classroom, you kind of glanced in, and as you were leaving, you caught sight in the corner of your vision of a darkly clothed, purple-skinned tiefling watching you. I don't know if you've met Skolna before.
I have not.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you see.
He'll make eye contact. Hey there.
You see she looks surprised. She just holds up a hand.
I'm Kaelan.
She nods.
Are you? What's your name?
Skolna.
Well,
This is what she looks like.
nice to meet you, Skolna. Have you seen Lilith around? Do you know who Lilith is?
She nods. She
Have you seen her around?
The direction she points is out the front door.
Oh, all right. I was hoping to go with someone to see about selling these, and he'll like tap against the the bag with the silver dragon scales.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the best place to, I guess, take a look at these? And he'll like pull one out and
She
show
kind
it to
of
her.
squints her eyes and looks at it. She shrugs.
All right. Not much of a talker. All right. Would you like to come with? Since you're a student, I'm a student. I don't know.
She shrugs again.
You can follow if you want,
She kind of tilts her head.
and he'll walk out the door.
Okay.
And he'll try to go. Well, he knows
When you
of
walk out the
Griffith.
door, you feel like a hand on your shoulder, and when you look, Skolna's right fucking next to you, like way too close, and she points toward the stable that's to the left, and you can hear the sounds of a blacksmith.
Right. Oh God, you're good at that.
She nods.
You think the blacksmith might like to have a look at him?
She shakes her head.
What? I don't know what you're trying to say.
She kind of frowns and furrows her brow and points at the blacksmith again, and then points at you.
I should go talk to her then.
She nods.
Right. Or I assumed her. I should go talk to them then. All right, I'll go talk to them. And I'll go over.
As you approach the blacksmith, you see that the blacksmith is a half-orc woman who is extremely stoutly built as she is weathering away at an anvil, and you see next to her, holding a long pair of tongs, is Lilith.
Oh. Hey, Lilith.
Hey, what's up?
You're Are you doing a bit of work?
She looks down at the tongs in her hand and at the
That
anvil
was-
and at the blacksmith, and she says, "No, I'm on holiday."
That was a stupid question. I realize that now.
Sure was.
Well, I was gonna see if you wanted to go into town to see about trying to sell these, and he'll take out one of the silver dragon scales.
The fuck is that, a mirror?
It's a silver dragon scale.
She blinks and she looks at the blacksmith, and the blacksmith looks at you, and she says, "I'll buy 'em off you.
I got 10 of them.
That's enough to make a suit of armor. I'll buy 'em off you."
All right. Might as well give it to the Merry Guard than some other blacksmith, right?
Yeah, I'll say. I'll give you 15 gold each.
All right. That's a lot of gold. All right. And he'll take them out one by one, kind of dust them off, and place them on a table.
Each of them is
And
very
let-
cool to the touch. They are round, and each one is the shape of a kite shield, basically. And as you set
Oh.
them on the table, they seem resilient and springy. The blacksmith throws the ingot she was working on into the forge and looks them over. And she looks at you and she says, "I'm Seka, by the way.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kaelan.
Nice to meet you too. How'd you get a hold of these?"
They were actually a gift.
Well, fuck. It's a hell of a gift.
That's what I said when I met him. Right.
You won't.
So-
All right. So I can just straight buy him off you for 15 gold a pop, or I could make you a suit of armor out of them.
More particular to leather, then heavy armor.
It's medium. But
Oh,
she raises an eyebrow as you say, "Oh."
I'm so scale mail, yeah?
It would
It would
be
be.
it would be scale mail that does not impose disadvantage on stealth, and it provides resistance to cold damage.
Oh wow, okay. Scale mail is 14 plus 2
Yes.
dexterity. Okay. It'd be less, but he'd be resistant to cold. I think
It
I think
also,
I'll
as it's magical, it would block bullets.
uh, that's useful. But it's a real thought. I think I think I'll just sell them for now.
15 gold a pop. And
All
as
right.
she has them spread out on the workbench, she reaches over and she pulls out a pouch and she begins to count gold into it. Lilith is watching it happen, and she says, "How'd you get a gift of dragon scales?"
I'll tell you later. That's a story. A real good one.
You better. And she
All right.
leans over, puts her hand toward the forge, and you see she lights a smoke off of the forge and takes a hit. You are handed a pouch of 150 gold, 15 platinum.
Wow. All right. 15 platinum. Okay.
And as that happens, the blacksmith Seka gathers up the scales into a neat stack, and she begins to, she begins to scribe certain marks on each one. And she says, "Well, if you don't want armor for it, I'll make it for somebody else, because fuck." And she puts it in a resource cabinet.
Right. Hey, Lilith, would you like the armor?
Yeah.
How about I give you 5 of the platinum back and you can give it to Lilith?
Seka looks at you, holds out her hand.
I'll give the 5 platinum back.
She kind of rings the coins in her palm and says, "You've got a deal."
All right.
Lilith is... So, the first thing you notice, as Lilith watches this happen, there's a look of incredulity on her face. And then when you hand the 5 platinum back, she smiles. Wide. A toothy smile. And as kind of harsh and cold as Lilith normally comes off, she has a very pretty smile. Her whole face lights up. And she says, "Well, thank you, you little fucker."
It's nothing. I got it for free and I wanted to do something nice.
I knew you were a good one. Let's go get a drink.
All right. Are you sure you're just finished here?
I am now. And Seka says,
All right.
"Right."
Hey, I'd like to talk to you about maybe some arrowheads. I'm a Fletcher. Maybe we can work together.
"Yeah. What do you want?"
Just plain old arrowheads.
"Right, but what kind?"
We can talk about that later.
"I'll be here."
All right.
And Seka
That's nice.
gets to work what looks like punching holes in each of these dragon scales.
Sounds good. All right. Cool.
Let me pull
100
out-
gold richer.
Yeah. It's a pretty penny.
I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen Lilith before. I didn't. That was not what I was imagining in my head.
Yep, that's Lilith.
Okay then.
You see why Penn has mixed feelings about Lilith.
I see now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, you have made arrangements for Lilith to have a suit of silver dragon scale mail made for her. And the two of you head toward the Merry Guard to get a drink.
Sounds good.
You notice Skolna is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
But
Spot her once, don't spot her again.
as that happens, as you make your way to the Merry Guard for some relaxation and drink, that is where we will stop today's session.
Perfect.
I hope you had a good time, and everyone who is watching, thank you for sticking with us. I look forward to next week where we will play again.
It was good.